Yeah, I've had my share of making videos this week.
Oh, I just thought of something. Mother's Day is not the congregational meeting, is it? No.
Shall we? Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Nekadma Fanav Batoda. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Bismirot Naria lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai.
Shabbat Shalom. So happy to be celebrating Shabbat with our community. I was told about 7 minutes ago that this is, for some of us, a week where Shabbat is very needed. A lot of us need some Shabbat more some weeks than other weeks, and this may have been one of those weeks for you where, wow, TGI Shin. Thank God it is Shabbat. So happy that it is finally here. And some weeks you might be saying, well, I could I could take it or leave it. I'm ready to keep going, but it's Shabbat, so I'm going to stop anyway. But at least I get to see Jenna and Rabbi Young and the Goldhammers. So we are going to invite the Goldhammers to kindle our Shabbat candles for us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with his mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you for the
And now we move into officially welcoming Shabbat with the words of Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor וזכור בריבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה. דוח אמוני עם סגולה. בואי כלה בואי כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. יאי לי לי יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי לי יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי בדברו מעריב ערבים בחוכמה פותח שערים. God of creation, who makes the evening fall from light into darkness with the setting of the sun. You unfold the heavens with brilliant moon and stars and wrap our souls with peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim בחוכמה פותח שערים. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים.
Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem, amen.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. That there is a better place, a promised land. That the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together and singing.
Mi kamocha vaylim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nor tehilot osef eleh, nor tehilot osef eleh. Mi kamocha vaylim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nor tehilot osef eleh, nor tehilot osef eleh. Malchutecha uvanecha, bukei hayam lifnei Moshe. Zeili anu ve'amru, zeili anu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshei, Mekadeshei shevi Shabbat, kulam yisbeu ve'itangu metuvecha Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Hashvi'i ratzita bo v'kidashto Shabbat, chemdat yamim oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Zecher למעשה בראשית שבת, זכר למעשה בראשית שבת, ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
As we prepare to move into the Amidah, our central tefillah, our central prayer, a reminder that this is the time of year when in our household, one person turns on the AC and then the other person says, the other adult says, what are you doing turning on the AC? And that means the season is changing, because it's that springtime feeling. We don't know if it's still chilly or if it's too hot. And our prayers reflect that. Maybe not the conflict of air conditioning determination, but certainly the idea that the seasons are changing. And as we move from Avot, the first prayer of the Amidah, into Gvurot, the language of the prayers reflects that. We start saying Morid Hatal, bring on the dew, the starting the second day of Passover and continuing through the rest of summer. So our blessing reflects that this evening. And this is your chance to get reminded to watch for that in the words, because I'm only allowed to do that for a month.
Adonai Sefatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu V'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Elohei Bilcha, Elohei Zilpah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor V'Hanura, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Hazdei Avot Me'imahot. ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע מוריד הטל, מחכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע ברוך אתה אדוני האל HaKadosh.
Take a moment for our own personal prayers.
Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Uvracha Sim Shalom Tova Chen v'chesed חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים שים שלום טובה וברכה שים שלום טובה וברכה עלינו ועל כל ישראל עלינו ועל כל ישראל עמך שים שלום טובה וברכה שים שלום טובה
We come to the point in our prayers where we take into our hearts those in our community, those in our lives who are in need of a mishaberach of healing. Tonight we are thinking especially of Bobby Barentine, Charlotte Beale, Esther Cisneros, Kathleen Danger, Larry Dratch, Harriet Dolgan, Peggy Eisen, Emmeline Fries, Julie Holdaway, Jerry Caskell, Leonard Caskell, Susan Kibble, Dorothy Kimmel, Jeffrey Colson, Al Koski, Beverly LaFrenz, Joan Lerner, Rabbi Dara Lerner, Kimberly Levin, Art Lunsk, Nancy Mallory, Lila Michelson, Justine O'Neill, Tiffany Pickett, Laura Powell, Alan Puzarni, Ron Ross, Sharon Schiffberg-Mencher, Marlene Tregel-Smith, Jay Spencer, Eileen Stutman, Trent Trimborn, Lucas Bennett Tryon, Tom Whitesides, Chana Sarah Shraga, Chayalea Bat Miriam, Sarah Rivka Bat Nisan, Yafa Meira Bat Rachel Shoshana, Esther Malka Chana Bat Batya Ruth, Yosef Ben Latifa Adina, Shira Chana Bat Yehudis, Shana Rachel. If you have any names of people for whom you are saying Mishaberach, we encourage you to put them in the chat so we can add them to our prayers as well.
Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzhak Be'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah Yivarech Ve'yirapeh et ha'chonim Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzhak Ve'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel V'Leah Yivarech החולים אל נא רפא נא לה 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 מי שברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב שרה רבקה רחל ולאה הוא יברך וירפא את החולים.
May all those whose names we say aloud, all those whose names we place in the chat, and all those whose names remain on our hearts be blessed with a complete healing of body, mind, and spirit. Amen. We continue with Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Right now, at this very moment in time, we are in between memorials. Memorials are incredibly important to our people. Abraham buys the cave of Machpelah to bury Sarah when she dies. Abraham himself is buried there, as are Isaac and Rebekah. When Rachel dies and cannot get her to the same cave, he erects a monument where he buries her on the side of the road en route to Ephrat. Joshua is buried in the hill country of Ephraim. King Saul's remains are buried under a tamarisk tree in Yavesh. And David and Solomon are buried in the city of David. The Bible names the burial place of many of our honored ancestors. Throughout our tradition, it is an act of respect to bury one's loved ones, to erect a monument at a grave. The act of burying a loved one and erecting a memorial is the very last thing we are able to do for those we love. By placing a marker on the grave of a loved one or erecting a monument, we have a place to go, something concrete to look at and touch, where we can remember them long after they're gone. The prophet Isaiah reminds us that God has a place for all the righteous who go on to the next world. He says in God's words, "V'natati lahem b'veiti uvchomotai yad vashem tov mibanim u'mivanot shem olam eten lo asher lo yikaret." I will give them in my house and within my walls a monument and a name better than sons or daughters, I will give them an everlasting name which shall not perish. We still erect such markers. Theodor Herzl's grave stands on Har Herzl, Mount Herzl in Jerusalem, as do the graves of Yitzchak and Leah Rabin, Golda Meir, Levi Eshkol, Hannah Senesh, and many other Israeli figures. Har Herzl also serves as the final resting place for many of the IDF's fallen soldiers, especially those who lived in Jerusalem. Just to the west of Har Herzl is Yad Vashem, a different kind of memorial. This marker was erected to remember the 6 million Jews who perished in the Holocaust. Named for the verse that I read from Isaiah, Yad Vashem serves as an everlasting name for the victims of the Holocaust. Established in 1953, its archives and efforts in Holocaust education remain unparalleled. In 2005, Yad Vashem opened its Holocaust History Museum, which sends spectators through a stone prism, weaving through 4,200 meters of galleries that emphasize the experiences of the individual victims through original artifacts, survivor testimonies, and personal possessions. Yad Vashem is a beautiful and touching memorial to the 6 million Jews who died in the Holocaust, as well as a memorial to non-Jews who prevented Jews from dying at the hands of the Nazis. In addition to setting memorials at locations such as Har Herzl and Yad Vashem, the country of Israel established Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaShoah as memorials in time. Yom HaShoah is the Israeli national holiday commemorating the martyrs of the Holocaust, and Yom HaZikaron is Israel's memorial day for its soldiers. Both of these are observed by many countries in the diaspora, and they are 1 week apart. Yom HaShoah was yesterday, and Yom HaZikaron is this coming Wednesday. As we look back to Pesach, we are thankful to be free from Egypt, as we are blessed to have survived the Holocaust as a people. As we look forward to Yom HaZikaron, we are thankful that we are still here and still able to remember those who have gone before us. And just as Shabbat is a moment of holiness in time, Yom HaShoah is a monument of memory set in time. For the 6 million of our brothers and sisters who died in the Holocaust, and for all of those honored at Har Herzl, the IDF soldiers and Israeli political figures, we say to all of them, for all of them, Zichronam Tzadikim Livracha. May the memory of the righteous serve as an everlasting blessing. For those of us who survived and who descend from survivors, we say, may our memory serve them with an honor that their righteousness will live on in our sons and daughters. And as we sit in between Yom HaShoah and Yom HaZikaron, and we begin our Sabbath, may Shabbat serve as both a remembrance of the past and a taste of the future, a future when all of us will be safe, free, and at peace. We continue in memory of those from our own community, and in memory of all of those who have died simply because they are Jews, the victims of the Holocaust who were targeted for their Judaism, and those who've served in the IDF who paid the ultimate sacrifice for the protection of our Jewish homeland. Tonight, from our CBT community, we remember those for whom we are observing Shloshim, Serafina Monroy, and Bonnie Whittlitz. And you'll notice that the yahrzeit list, the list of people for whom we're observing the anniversary of their death, is quite lengthy this evening. And that is because on this list are families who were wiped out in the Holocaust, families that our congregation remembers because their families are a part of our CBT community. for their yahrzeit. We remember the Karlinski, Antipolsky, Balter, and Scharfberg families, Weinstock, Arbusman, Primack, and Woolman families, Edward J. Adar, Elizabeth Adar, Olga Aprijaskis, Clarence Benton, Joe Biebelberg, Simon Cohen, Wolf Klein, and other families lost from Dombrava, Poland, Anna Dwoskin, Herman Dwoskin, Emma Feinsilber, Muriel Weisberg Frankel, Edward Lee Frumhoff, David Gelfand, Michael Gilman, Harry William Goldberg, members of the families Gonda and Turai Lichtig, Sadie Goodman, Larry Jacobson, Rosalind Karp, Shirley Katofsky, Abe Kempler, George Kessler, David Bertz Kurtz, Lillian Levine, Pesha Slatovsky Miltz, Shimon Miltz, Benno Miltz, Jachke Miltz, Chaim Miltz, Heike Miltz, Hirsch Miltz, Rochke Miltz, Janke Miltz, Melvin Neft, Frank E. Novak, Regina Pasternak, Bela Pellman, Ann Rosen, Claire Rubin, Yitzhak Salinas, Morris Schechter, Fred Silverstein, Judy Stillwell, Elsie Steinman Sussman. And as always, we invite you to type the names of your loved ones who you are memorializing this evening in the chat. We continue with Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divera chirute v'amlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam u'la'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemed kudusha brechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Hey shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who makes peace in high places bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, to which we say, Amen. In the way of announcements, just a couple of reminders for 3 weeks from tonight. The first is that we are going to have an Alan Goodis concert before Shabbat services. He'll be playing from Chicago directly into your living rooms, starting at 5 o'clock. And after the service, and perhaps after a little break, we will continue our Shabbat service together at 6:45 at our usual time. Although I will say, April 30th, Shabbat is going to be something special. I'm not going to tell you exactly what yet. Many of you have figured it out by now, or or someone has told you, or maybe you've even actually read the bulletin. Either way, it's going to be a very special Shabbat celebration on April 30th. For now, we are going to continue with Oseh Shalom, followed by Kiddush and Motzi.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, say shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru. Amen. yaseh shalom bimromam, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen.
And once again, we're going to invite Mark and Sharon to lead us in Kiddush and Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam motzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Have a wonderful week, everybody. Thank you so much, Sharon and Mark.